I'm being blinded. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to post daylight savings future fiber. This is your host Jenny, and this is our bi-weekly ish podcast episode number 19. We're almost at number 20, which is, I really didn't think I would get here, but I've been doing okay so far. The sun is setting currently. So we'll see how the video goes throughout. That's the beauty of natural lighting, right? You get some golden hour sun, but then you also get blinded. I feel like this episode will be maybe not that exciting because a lot of the stuff I've shown already in previous videos. It's a lot of gift knitting. Some progress updates on that, and one finished object, which I'm wearing currently. I doubt that there will ever be a episode where I'll just show up and I'll have like 4 finished objects, like big sweaters, because I just don't really knit that fast. Although I did figure out that if I go to the movies and I take a project that's mostly easy to do, like either it's just like straight stockinette or like garter or something, I get a lot of work done on it. So maybe it's a sign for me to start going to the movies more, like get some culture in. There's a new Hayao Miyazaki movie out, The Boy and the Heron, I think it's called in English. I might go see that. I heard it's a little like out there, a little confusing, so we'll see. But maybe I'll go see that. And if you have any other movie recommendations that you've seen recently, let me know. I did go see the new Sofia Coppola film, Priscilla. It was a group of 4 of us, and we were all women, and we spent the first 35 minutes just gagging. If you've seen the movie, you know why, but yeah, oh god. Anyways, let's get into the knits. So I'll start with our longtime resident here, who is finally finished and on the body. This is the MiuMiu Copycat Cardigan that I've been working on for literally eons. Maybe I'll do a little like thing of how many videos it took, if I can muster up the energy to look through that. But it's finished. This is knit up in Hobbii Friends wool. I actually have a ball here still, and this is the colorway 85. Yeah. And I think I have maybe this ball and like a little bit left. So I gotta figure out what to do with this one thing. Maybe I'll make like a striped hat or something. And then also the white wool is from Drops. And it's Drops, I think it's Drops Nepal. The worsted weight one? Yeah. Anyways, I've talked about this so much that I don't know what there is really left to say. But I guess the one thing that I'll start with was I've learned after this project that I really need to start weaving in my ends as I go, because this was a monster project where I just had ends everywhere, and I already hate seaming, and I had to seam the entire thing, and then on top of that I had to weave in all the ends, and it took me like 2 days to just do that. I forced myself to weave in all the ends and finish it up because I was like, you've been working on this for so long, you need to get some wear out of this before you head completely into winter, because I feel like with the eyelets and stuff, it's not super like winter friendly. I would wear this more in the spring time. So that's how I forced myself to do it, but I really need to start weaving in all the ends as I go. I think when we left off, I had been working on maybe a sleeve, or maybe I was seaming it up or something in the middle of that. Yes, I was seaming it up, and that was like the final thing that I really had to do, the button band and the seaming up of all the different pieces. And that I would say that was the most painful part about this. Like the actual knitting wasn't that bad. Trying to figure out how to do the sleeves and the pattern stuff, that was kind of annoying, but it wasn't so bad. But Yeah, I think next time I'll try and do a little bit more math in the beginning so that I can at least prevent myself from having to steek many parts of the sweater. So just a recap. Okay, so I steeked the bottom here. I had to take off about that much in length. So I just chopped it off and then picked up the stitches and then cast off. I had to steek this front here. So that's chopped off because I worked on this front panel first and it was too wide. So I took about like 1.5 inches off from the front. So I picked up all the stitches that I wanted, and then I did the crochet kind of reinforcement, and then I chopped off about 1.5 inches from this front, and then I kind of tried to match the width of this here, the second panel, to this front panel by like removing a certain number of stitches. I didn't do the math correctly, so I don't know if you can tell, but one of these sides is smaller than the other. I think this side is smaller than this side. You can't it's not that noticeable on camera, but that was like one of the things that I noticed when I put it on myself. I was like, oh, that's not even. The armhole I feel like is a little wide or low or big for what I was intending. I was expecting this to fit a little bit more like a jacket, so come up a little bit more like a fitted jacket. So I wanted it to come up. I could have probably started doing the armhole cast off a little later. The arm side or whatever isn't exactly to like my measurements, so it does feel a little I don't know how to describe it. It feels like the mobility is a little bit compromised due to the fact that the armhole is pretty wide, and this is like, I think, pretty standard problem with a lot of like oversized garments. The way that the garment was designed is supposed to be more like a jacket, and jackets typically have the, what's this called? The sleeve cap. I think, I don't know what the exact, I don't know how it all makes up, but then like the sleeve cap of jackets I know is designed to be, the sleeves are drafted differently from like a, say a t-shirt to like a jacket. Jackets have, I think, the, what's the word? Like if you look at a t-shirt is a t-shirt because it's basically like the arm goes straight out like this. So I think it's that the sleeve is drafted wider, like the sleeve cap is wider than the than if you were to draft a jacket or something like that. Somebody who knows more about garment drafting or like pattern making, like correct me, but I know that that's like something. I know how to draw it, but then I don't know how to describe it to you using words. What I'm trying to say is this original Rowan pattern that kind of based this off of was designed to have a more of like a jackety, like set in sleeve fit rather than like a T shape that shoots out from just the armhole. So it was inevitable, but I'm sure this mobility thing would have been not as noticeable if I had just made the right size, I guess, for the yarn weight and stuff. But it's not so much that, like, this is casual wear. It's not supposed to be super formal or anything. So I think this is not that big of a deal to me, personally. But that is something that's like a little bit like, oh, I wish I had paid a little bit more attention so that the finish of the overall sweater was a little bit better. But I think overall the essence of it is there, so I would consider this a success. And I have worn it out a couple times already, and the wool seems to be wearing all right. Like, it's definitely got a little bit more fuzz fuzz on it, especially around the armpit area where it's rubbing against each other. But it's not to a point where it's so terrible yet. And it's wool, so I can just take a shaver thing, lint shaver thing to it, and I'm sure it'll like kind of spring back. The length, the fit, and everything turned out pretty well. Once again, the arm section is not my like ultimate favorite, and the way that I did a lot of the construction of like seaming up, you can tell where I did it first, because like here I was seaming up the garter, but I was using white yarn, so you can kind of see it through. And then the construction here on the neck collar part isn't like the neatest, and that is definitely something that I could have paid a little bit more attention to when I was, you know, doing all the stuff. But for kind of winging it the entire way, I think it turned out pretty nice. I think the final thing that I'll say is the collar. I didn't account for how the garment would kind of weigh down the collar a little bit. So the collar is a little bit smaller than I intended, actually. So I could have knit the blue part a little bit longer. Or I think another thing is I could, not stay stitch. What is that called in knitting? Kind of reinforce around the neck line with maybe crochet, or like maybe I could put an elastic as well, and it would, sit a little bit closer to my neck, and then it wouldn't be as short, I guess, when it's folded over. So I could do that as well. I just haven't, because I don't really care that much. So if I were to nitpick, those were the things that I would change. And if I were to do this again, I would not do this again. Just saying. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying the price of the original garment for like however much it is probably not even like hand knit, it's machine knit, whatever, is justified necessarily, but it's because it's like $5,000. However, I can also see why people buy these kinds of sweaters versus make them on their own. So, you know, just do what's best for you. It was for, this was definitely like a product knit for me, but I did also learn a lot while doing the product knitting. So I think if I were to do another seamed garment, I wouldn't be as scared of it. But also, I don't know if I would choose to do it again voluntarily anytime soon. So those were the things. If you want to see more pictures of this, you could go to my Instagram. I posted pictures of me wearing it a couple, maybe weeks ago. So... Another long-term resident who's not been getting the love that she deserves, because I've been turned fully onto gift knitting. This is the Beyond basic sweatshirt, and you can see that I have one sleeve going, and I am also noting the decreases based on... Oh, I stopped doing that. Whoops. I started doing marking the decreases based on by putting the stitch markers on here, but I stopped doing that, I guess. Yeah, I didn't get very far with the sleeves. I'm really on Sleeve Island with this one. This was taking a long time for me to finish. Really unexpected, because this is on pretty like big needles. It's on 5mm. I just think that I've also noticed this as well. I feel like if I have to hold two yarns together, that project is going to take longer than a project that's just like yarn held single. And I don't know why that is, because it's not like I'm having a particularly hard time holding these yarns together. But for me, like, it just takes longer. I don't know why that is. Yeah, I'm working on this still. I decided to save the slip stitch detail on the sleeve part. So I am remembering to do that and just working on getting the sleeve done. I'm so excited for this to be finished. I finished the body, but I think I forgot to switch the size of the needle to the smaller size when I did the bottom. So one by one is not, one by one rib is not the best, but I only realized that after I did all the bind off, the sewn bind off for the bottom, so I'm not ripping that out. But I don't know. I don't really love the bottom of my sweaters to be too tight anyways, so I feel like it works out, you know? It's fine. It's not the end of the world. With wash, I'm sure it'll kind of even out and stuff, and you can't really tell with this yarn. So yeah, just chugging along. I'm just really excited to wear this because it's really getting to that cold point in New York right now. You need a sweater, long something on the bottom like pants or like tights and skirt, and then if you wear like a jacket on top of it, then it's like perfect. And then anything more, then you don't have to wear, if I wear like a wool sweater and then a jacket, like a light jacket, then I don't need to wear a puffer. But then I feel like if I just go out without a sweater on, then I need to wear a puffer, and I don't like wearing my puffer that much, so I really want this to be over so I can wear it. Like, it's so good. Like, it look, every time I look at it, take it out and I look at it, I'm like, yeah, that's really good. I should really work on it. And then yeah. I've been mostly monogamous on this one other project that I will show you, so you can see why this hasn't made any progress. All right, this is the big boy project that I've been working on for the past couple of weeks. This is a gift knit, and I show this off in the my 2023 gift knit video, gift knit plan video, whatever. And this is the zipper sweater by Petiteknit, and I'm going to be giving this to a friend, so I'm trying to meet that deadline, you know. I know, like, we still have a little bit to go until the holidays, but I just know that it's gonna catch up on me, so I want to get this done as soon as possible so that I can focus on other ones. I don't know where I left off when I was showing this off in that video, but I might have been still working on the body and maybe not on the sleeves. But I have one sleeve, I have the body all done, and then I'm working on the sleeve, the other sleeve, the second sleeve, and this is almost there because I realized the good thing about knitting for other people is that I don't have to knit as much, because chances are, especially if they're women, they're going to be shorter than me. I'm actually like kind of tall. Like, I don't think that comes across in videos perhaps, but I'm 5'7", which is, what is that in centimeters? Like 170, 169, 170 ish. So I feel like I have to knit my sweaters super long, especially in the body is not as much because I don't mind it being a little bit cropped, but then my cropped like body length is like normal people body length, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess I will just have to like suck it up and knit a little bit more. So yeah, I usually have to knit the sleeves a little bit longer, but this one, she's many inches shorter than I, so this is just all the sleeve I need to knit. Bracelet length. It's awesome. Freaking rules. And so I'm almost done with this sleeve as well. And then I will be done. Well, no, I won't be done because I gotta knit the facing, and then I gotta put in the zipper. And that's not gonna take that long because I've done it once already, and then the facing is like really skinny and short, so it's going to be really nice. I think I said maybe I would think about putting in zippers on the sleeves as well. I vetoed that decision. I vetoed myself because I went to the store, and the zipper store, and zippers are expensive, man. I don't know. I probably could have bought just more zippers, but then I don't know. I just felt like it was nice and clean with just the zip in the middle. Let me show you the zipper that I got because it's very hot pink. And then this is way long, so I'm going to have to cut it. And I probably could have asked at the store, but then I was just like, I don't know. It was hot. I was frazzled. But this is the zipper that's going to go on here like this. That's crazy. It looks so poppy. It's so good. And I made sure to get the zipper with the metal hardware because I don't know, the plastic ones, Unless it's very like intentional looking with the plastic. I feel like it looks a little cheap. So I got the slightly pricier boy. It's not YKK though, or Riri, so I don't think it is at least, which is kind of a bummer. But it still should be pretty good. I did get the zipper type that's supposed to be like, this is a jacket zipper, because you can tell that this you can open and like remove, separate the zippers completely, but then I'm just going to cut it and use it as like a closed zipper, which is not ideal, but you know, this is what they had, so I'm going to do that. So I'm excited to put that in. So I've been working on this mostly. I took this to the movie, and then I was working on the body, and I got a lot of progress done there. And yeah, just excited to be done with this guy. I'm pretty sure I've missed a couple stitches though, because I put in a stitch marker here to note that I like need to pick this up and like sew it in, but I can't tell now if I've picked it up and fixed it or not. So that's a plus for oh, I should tell you what the yarn is. It's Drops Alpaca Boucle in the colorway Off-White, I think. I've used about, I ordered 10 and I'm on my, this seems like it's the 6th ball, and then I probably maybe need to crack into like the beginning of another one, so I'll have like 3 and change balls left after this project. So I'm like, what do I do with all that boucle? I don't know, I feel like for anything else I knit with this, maybe I don't want to hold it single, because you can tell that here like the stitches are a little loose. It's not I heard that once you wash it, it kind of like fills itself in a little bit, so it's not as loose looking, but maybe I'll knit something with that held together with the leftover yarn. I don't know. Any ideas are appreciated, basically. And yeah, probably next podcast episode, this will be done, and then I can show it to you. And yeah, I will have to ask my friend not to watch, because I mean, I think at this point she already knows what I'm making, because I asked her for pictures. So the original zipper sweater pattern calls for, what's the word? You do the double knitting, 2 rows on the edges, and then you bind off with a sewn bind off. I like to do a tubular bind off. I did not do that for the bottom of the sweater, because you can't tell, because it's boucle. Like, that's just regular bind off. Sure, it's not as stretchy, but like otherwise you can't tell what bind off I did. That's a plus for boucle. And this one, the sleeve, I actually did do the tubular bind off, because I was like, is it going to be any different? It looks a little bit neater. It's got a little bit more thickness to it. But I did that because I maybe wanted to put an elastic for the sleeve, so that she can, my friend, she can like push up her sleeves instead of having to roll it up, you know? But you can't tell. So I did that extra work and it doesn't even show up, which is a bummer, but maybe not that big of a bummer. So yeah, that's a plus for these zipper sweaters made with boucle. And then another thing with boucle, I think I mentioned this in the video where I talk about my winter plans, but I didn't do twisted rib. This is 1x1 rib for the edges, because I tried doing twisted rib, and then first of all, doing twisted rib alone sucks, and trying to do that with boucle yarn sucked even more. So I didn't want to do twisted rib, and then I did it and you couldn't even tell. So that's why I chose to do 1x1 rib all throughout, and I think I made the right choice. But even if I didn't use boucle, I don't know if I would do twisted rib again. I just don't really love how it looks. Or like twisted rib or half twisted rib, it doesn't, I don't know. I don't think it's worth the effort for me. I know people might disagree, but it's just, I don't like knitting through the back loop at all. So yeah, that's the progress on the zipper sweater, patterned by Petiteknit, I'm sure as everybody knows. And we're almost there. Continuing on that gift knit train, these next ones don't have a lot of progress from the last video because I've been kind of like unusually monogamous in my knitting. But this is the Aura top by Rose Knitwear that I am taking inspiration from a Acne sweater. Acne, like the fashion brand, one of their like Mohair tops. And I think I'm to a point where I'm probably gonna knit like maybe this much more and then start separating for the front and the back of the body, because my friend is short. And the original pattern calls for, I think, about like 50 centimeters before you break off the front and the back. But yeah, I think if you do that, it'll be really long on her. So I'm going to aim for 35. She is a teeny person. So yes, that's what I'm going to do. And this is knit up in various mohairs that are lace weight, but majority is drops kid silk. And now I am working with this blue color currently because this will be where the breasticles, the boobs are if you wear this. So I think a darker color will help with like camouflaging whatever you have underneath. And that was the main decision point for that. This actually knits up pretty quickly because it's on humongous needles. This is on, wait, I don't know if I accidentally switched the needle size because this one is a 6, this is a US 10, which is 6 millimeter, and this one is a 6.5. Why did I do that? I don't know what the original calls for. I think it might be the 6.5. I don't know. What's important is that it's on really big needles with very fine yarn. So I don't think the knitting experience is quite good because obviously to make this netted kind of texture with your fabric, you do sacrifice a little bit of speed. I think it would be easier if I was to be knitting this with the Chiagu metal needles because they have like pointier tips, but I'm using my Knit Pro, not Ginger, what are these? Deluxe? Dreams? Knit Pro Dreams. And these are a little bit more blunt in the tip. I'm sure if I use the Gingers, this will go a little bit faster, but I don't have Gingers in the long regular length. I only have like the shorties, so this is where we are. Overall, like honestly, like if I really sat down and spent like a couple days on it, I'm sure it'll be done. It's just that I've been focused on like the other one a little bit more. So this is the progress on my Aura top. I think the colors look really cute together. It's a little clown, but you know, it's like a good clown. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like those Korean like traditional like sleeves that you wear when I have to put up a picture because this will be totally lost on you, but if you ever did if you went to school, like elementary school in Korea, or at least I did, they made you, there's these like long sleeves that you can wear to like do like a traditional dance with, and then I remember having to buy those when I was like really little. So the colorway kind of reminds me of that, but you know, whatever. And then the next gift knit that I'm still working on, this has no progress pretty much, and I'm kind of scared because I don't know if I'm going to meet the Christmas deadline, so I'm going to have to finish up those two things really fast, and then I'm going to have to speed run this one. But this is the beginning of the Ingrid sweater man, and this is a gift knit for my boyfriend. And I'm knitting off gauge once again, and this is the Feisty Fibres yarn, worsted weight that I got in Canada while I was in Montreal, and we have the back yoke. I finished doing the short rows for the back, so I just need to like knit straight and then do the pattern and then etc afterwards. This double moss stitch doesn't take very long, but and then I think the next step is doing the 2x2, so it shouldn't be too bad. Hopefully this moves fast. The yarn really like makes it so that you make a lot of progress, but it's hard to do this in the dark a little bit. You need like 4 lights on you when working with this yarn, which is very unfortunate for me because now daylight savings is over and now it gets dark at 4:30. Yeah, I think the texture looks really nice. Excited to see how this will knit up and finish, and I think it's going to be a very nice sweater that I'm going to steal from my boyfriend if he doesn't wear it. So it might be my knit and not his knit. Well, watch out. Oh, there's the last one. This one also has like no measurable progress. This is the Sophie scarf, or this is the Sophie shawl that I've been working on as a transit going places project. And this is the length that I have so far. And this is knit up with Plymouth Yarns Baby Alpaca DK, I think is the yarn. I bought this many moons ago, and I don't remember what the colorway is because I threw out all the tags. But this is how much I have left of the first ball, and I said I have 3 of this, so it's going to be like a pretty massive shawl, which is good because I don't have a lot of scarves for the winter, and this will come in pretty handy, I think. And I think the color looks good on my skin tone, so good to have it really close to my face, I guess. And maybe if I don't want to knit this much of the Sophie shawl, maybe I'll like stop knitting and preserve the last ball so that I can make a other winter accessory that's kind of matching, maybe a balaclava. Are those out of style now? I don't know. I kind of want to still make one that's like a hood type with like a winter yarn, but we will see. Just chugging along on this guy. I started resorting to the stitch marker again to understand like where my last increase was, because if anyone has tips on being able to read where the increase is on a garter on this shawl, like let me know, because I can't tell. So every time I do an increase, I put the stitch marker on, and then I just count like 3 of these or 3 or 4 of these garter bumps, and then I do the increase. That's how I've been doing this because I can't keep track and I'm not going to be counting every row necessarily. So that's how I do my Sophie shawl scarves. Yeah. And this is also a pattern by Petiteknit, as we all know. I feel like the Sophie scarf craze maybe has not died down. It just, I don't know, I feel like everybody's always knitting one. Because I guess it's because it's easy. And I think there's a lot of like these like long triangle shape garter slash I-cord edging scarf variations now from a couple different designers. So if you don't want to buy the Sophie shawl, or if you have the Sophie scarf and you feel like you want a little bit more variety, you could probably check those out. I think Ozetta just released one. Maybe, I think that one is like patterned with 2x2 ribbon and I-cord edge. And then I forget who the other person was. I think it was maybe Kajri. Kajri also released one that was garter, but maybe it does not have the I-cord. I remember seeing something like that. I'll put up pictures if I can remember. So, yeah. That's all the works I have in progress. I'm feeling kind of like uninspired with with a lot of the knitting that I'm doing for myself currently. I have a couple things that I do want to cast on, but I just like haven't been doing it because I have to finish these gift knits. So I'm kind of like, maybe if I finished 2 of these gift knits, I'll cast on something new for myself as a little treat. But until then, I have to kind of like stay focused a little bit. Girl's got a goal and she's got to meet that goal, you know? And the goal is to get all my friends together and then take a weird Christmas photo. So we gotta do something. We gotta chug along, you know. But I'm pretty happy with the progress that I've made on the gift knit singular, because I've only made progress on that one zipper sweater. But I don't know, I feel pretty confident in being able to finish the ones that I'm giving to other people. Other people that don't live in my house, so like not my boyfriend. That's that for this 19th podcast episode. Hopefully next one, I'm trying to see if I want to knit some Christmas ornaments as well, like little. I saw a post on Instagram. I think it was Hip Knit Hooray. She had made some little like donut shaped and pastry shaped Christmas ornaments that I thought were really cute. I'm not a big Christmas person, but I like the aesthetic of Christmas and I like how people get excited for it. So I like to participate. And maybe I'll make some little guys to put on my little Charlie Brown Christmas tree this year. So we'll see what happens. That's pretty much it. I hope everyone's enjoying the cooler weathers, all the northern hemisphere people. I hope you guys are enjoying the cooler weathers and like knitting up a storm. From the social medias, it seems like everybody's really excited and knitting a ton. So I am trying to catch up with y'all, is basically what I'm trying to say. Have an amazing week, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.